the state of North Carolina. Yesterday it was in the mid-80s, sun was shining, it felt more like summer rather than a few weeks away from the start of spring. Today it's rainy, it's much cooler, but none of that is going to dampen the spirits of all of the people that have come to Charlotte, North Carolina for one of the best days of the college basketball season. It is Thursday at the ACC Tournament, which means the top 4 seeds are all in action, and it is quarterfinal day at the best and most prestigious conference tournament in America as we welcome you to the 2026 ACC Men's Basketball Tournament. Today, it's the number 2 seed Virginia Cavaliers getting their ACC Tournament assault underway against the North Carolina State Wolfpack, the champions from just a couple of years ago. And hello, one and all, I'm Matthew Owens. Welcome to Uptown Charlotte. Thanks for having us in for 4 quarterfinals at the ACC Tournament here today. We are so excited to bring you these 4 games today and the 2 semifinals tomorrow, and of course the final coming up on Saturday night. What a day this is going to be. Top 4 seeds all got double byes. They get their tournament started here today. And with a bit of a flip of the scheduling, we get the number 2 and number 3 seeds in action here in the afternoon session on this Thursday, which means the 2nd-seeded Virginia Cavaliers start our day here at high noon against the NC State Wolfpack. The Wolfpack coming off of an enormous win yesterday in the second round that they desperately needed. They beat Pittsburgh, NC State. Many people believe that they are safe to make it into the NCAA tournament. They can make sure they are safe to make the big dance with a win today against this Virginia team who under Ryan Odom finished 2nd in the ACC. They're ranked 10th in the country coming into action this week. They dropped just 4 games all season long, a mark of 27-4, 15-3 in the ACC, and with everything that's going around this tournament with injuries, specifically to huge players at Duke and North Carolina, a lot of people believe this Virginia team, which was very good, of course, throughout the entirety of the regular season, could be in line to win their 4th ACC tournament crown and their 1st since 2018. NC State, they had a very difficult ending to the regular season. They've lost 6 of their last 8 games. 3 of those losses came by more than 20 points. But as mentioned yesterday in the second round, they picked up an enormous win over Pittsburgh, 98-88 the final score. They got really good performances from a number of players. The biggest performance came from Quadir Copeland, their transfer from Syracuse, and then went to McNeese, followed Will Wade to Raleigh. He scored 24 points yesterday. The Wolfpack are 20-12 in the season. A lot of people see them on the bubble of the tournament, but that win yesterday and losses by others on the bubble may have the Wolfpack safe. As we get ready to go in Uptown Charlotte, it is a tremendous day if you're a college basketball fan, if you're a sports fan. Action from so many conference tournaments and quarterfinals getting started with top seeds all around the country. So here we go, NC State in red. Virginia, as the higher seed, is in home white. And they get set to go as the tip is in the air and controlled by Virginia. And we're underway at the Spectrum Center in Uptown as the Cavaliers start with first possession. 27-4 on the season, as I mentioned. Sam Lewis in the starting lineup gives to Dallin Hall, who feeds the right corner. Now the return comes from Hall. This is a Virginia team under Ryan Odom, first-year head coach at UVA, but he's had so much success elsewhere as Lewis off left wing steps inside the arc. Jumper from the left of the lane, misses off the side of the rim. Rebounded by NC State's Ven Allen Lubin, one of the best big men in the ACC this season, and the Wolfpack bring the ball up the floor from our left to our right. They're in all red, white numbers, black trim, and here's Copeland, who had the hot hand yesterday. Spins it outside off left wing. Paul McNeil, the return for Copeland, who gives it on a drive up the right lane line, and he hits a fadeaway jumper, but he got called for a travel first, and it's a turnover by the Wolfpack. We have Seth Eves with us. JT's coming up So JT is coming up. Seth is with us now. We'll hear from him momentarily. He's going to keep us updated with all of the games going on as Virginia gets play restarted. And already we have Miami in action. That's Miami University, of course, in action in the MAC tournament. The undefeated Red Hawks in a tight game with UMass, and we'll have that update and updates from all around conference tournaments as we go on. Malik Thomas for Virginia steps in from the right, and his runner got blocked by Lubin, and it's off of Thomas last and out of bounds. It'll go back to NC State. Vin Allen Lubin, one of the modern-day college basketball players, if you will. NC State is his fourth school. Now they've corrected the call. No, they will keep it with NC State, beg your pardon. And Virginia with full-court press here as Darian Williams gets the ball inbounded for Trey Holloman, a transfer from Michigan State, picked up in the backcourt by Malik Thomas. And Holloman dribbles across the timing line into the front court to our right. As ever with the North Carolina schools, there's a lot of NC State fans here, a lot of Virginia fans too, a big splattering of navy blue and orange in the seats. Here's Lubin, entry feed, left of the lane. He'll put it on the deck, drive inside against the defensive Johan Grunlow, and the reverse layup is good off the glass, and Vin Allen Lubin scores the game's first points. Mention how he's a modern-day college basketball player. This is his fourth school. He played at Notre Dame, then Vanderbilt, then North Carolina, now at NC State. As an entry feed into the lane gets slapped away by Lubin, and that's last off Virginia as well. It was last touched by Tess DeRitter. And a Virginia turnover. Once again, we'll give it back to State. State inbounding far side backcourt into Lubin, shoveled back for Williams, who dribbles quickly into the front court to our right. Off left wing, swings it across the perimeter. Holloman on the deck, drives, gives it up. Lubin going to the rim, misses the shot in tight, but draws a foul. And Vin Allen Lubin, who gets to the free throw line a lot, will go to the line here as he's fouled by Johan Grunlow. NC State in their first year, a couple of first-year head coaches as far as at their respective schools. Will Wade, who has plenty of NCAA tournament experience at LSU and McNeese most recently. He's taken McNeese to the last two tournaments out of the Southland. Of course, they're going back to the tournament this year as well.
VCU as well.
Yeah, VCU, that's right. As Lubin knocks down his first free throw, 3-0 lead for NC State. It's been a season of peaks and valleys, which we mostly thought it would be for this NC State team. They've got a lot of talent. They've got a really good first-year head coach in Will Wade. But it's all about meshing together, and at times they did in this first season, at other times they didn't. Lubin hits the second free throw, but this is an extremely talented team, and if they indeed do make the NCAA tournament, it's a team that could do some damage, win a game, maybe even multiple games if they get the right draw. Here's Virginia on the ball, and out of the left corner, a three is poured in by Tess DeRitter, their leading scorer at 16 points per game, a freshman out of Belgium who scored 20 or more 11 times this season, the most by a Virginia freshman in over a decade and a half. Gets Virginia on the board with that triple. This is not Tony Bennett's Virginia. They score a lot of points, and they've really picked up the pace this year in their first year under Ryan Odom. As chiseling into the lane from the left goes Williams, who dumped it inside for Lubin. He goes up and draws another foul. Contact came from Grunlow. And more free throws coming for Vin Allen Lubin, originally out of Orlando. Nice feed into him by Williams. And Grunlow gets called for the foul. Now, one thing that both of these teams have in common, they really cannot get into foul trouble. These are not the deepest of teams. And that's already a couple of fouls on Grunlow, another international player that Ryan Odom grabbed to bring into the Cavalier program. He's from Germany, as the first free throw from Lubin clatters around the rim and goes in. 5-3 lead for NC State, who, as mentioned, went on that miracle run. It wasn't just a Cinderella run. It was a miracle run to win this tournament in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago, as they played 5 games in 5 days and won them all for a team that wasn't even close to making the tournament that year. As Lubin knocks down his second free throw, he's already made 4 shots from the foul line. don't believe a Bam Adebayo game is coming from him, but you never know. 6-3, NC State leads Virginia into the front court, flashing forward. Thomas plays catch in the perimeter with Dallin Hall, who nearly lost the dribble. NC State bench just went crazy, wanting a traveling call, none given. It's off to Sam Lewis. Dribble drive inside, dumps it down underneath. Hall kicks it into the left corner, and DeRitter's free to fire again. 3 misses, tap follow wouldn't go, and the rebound snatched out of the air by Vin Allen Lubin, one of the top rebounders in the ACC, at 7 a game. At the foul line, Darian Williams inside for Lubin. They go to him again, misses the shot in tight. Good defending from Virginia down low, and DeRitter goes the other direction with a lot of pace. Goes right to the rack and draws a foul as he got met by a couple of Wolfpack defenders on the drive. DeRitter had 19 points when these two teams played late February. It was only a couple of weeks ago, and it was one-way traffic in Charlottesville. Virginia beating NC State 90-61. One of those games that NC State lost down the stretch. Mentioned that they lost 6 of their last 8, and 3 of those were by at least 20 points. That was one of those games. DeRitter hits the first free throw. He has all 4 of Virginia's points. Their bad has been really bad this year, NC State. But as I mentioned earlier, they've also been a team that they are a team with a lot of talent and have shown that talent at times this year. But down the stretch, they lost to Louisville by an absolute load of points, 118-77, as DeRitter hits the second free throw. Again, full court press from Virginia as the ball gets inbounded to Paul McNeil, sophomore out of Rockingham, North Carolina. Gives it back up high for Trey Holloman, who then feeds Quadir Copeland. Drives up the middle, gets in the paint, kicks left corner. Free to fire is Williams, and he splashes down a 3 out of the corner pocket. And it's a 9-5 start for NC State. Williams out of Sacramento, California, former Red Raider at Texas Tech, was also a member of the Wolfpack of Nevada before joining the Wolfpack in Raleigh. Virginia on offense, DeRitter in the right corner. Back pass to the perimeter for Chance Mallory was knifed out of bounds, and that will lead to our first timeout at under 16. And a good start for NC State coming off the victory yesterday over Pittsburgh, a high-scoring win, 98-88. Could be a high-scoring game here. As mentioned, Virginia has really picked up their pace and offense in their first year under Ryan Odom. They average 81 points per game. So a timeout on the floor. We'll bring in Seth Eves, as we will all day long, as we are underway on quarterfinal Thursday at the ACC Tournament. But there is so much more going on. Maybe not at this very moment, Seth. There's not a ton of games going on at this very moment, but we have an absolutely stacked lineup today. First, tell us what your eyes are on today, and then tell us what's going on as we speak.
Everything's what my eyes are on today. But obviously, following the 8-9 game of the Big Ten, Iowa and Ohio State, that's off to a good start. We're 14 minutes away from the first game of the day in the Big 12 and the SEC. Iowa State, Texas Tech. If you don't think Kansas City can be lit at 11:30 in the morning, I would encourage you to watch that game with Iowa State fans. They saved their vacation time. Let's put it that way. Also, we have Kentucky and Missouri. That's another one we're saving vacation time for. That'll be coming up at 12:30 Eastern too. Missouri, a team for many that's slipping towards the wrong side of the bubble, that might need a win just to be A-OK. St. John's and Providence, that game is underway. Of course, that's the top seed of the Big East, MSG. And they're in a break, so let me check and see what that score is. Going to be a lot of this today, as it is a 9-0 start for St. John's. The Johnnies are looking good. Miami O is up 5 on UMass. And the first game of the day in the A-10, George Washington is running roughshod on Fordham. It's 33-14.
George Washington was an underdog in that game, I might add. Which was surprising to me.
Vegas doesn't always know.
Yeah, surprising to me. Yes, we saw that. What about the ACC tournament today, Seth? We love the ACC tournament around here. Glad to be bringing you the 4 quarterfinals today, and then, of course, the semis tomorrow and the final on Saturday. Seth will be with you for the call of the night session games, which is Duke, Florida State, and North Carolina, Clemson. Of course, we've got this game, and then afterwards is Louisville and Miami. What do you think about these 4 games in Uptown today?
I think they're all interesting. Even Florida State Duke, I think that's a puncher's chance for the Noles. The way they shoot the three, the way they gave Duke trouble. People say it was in Tallahassee. My response is that was in January before they got things figured out. No, they have things figured out, it seems. Um, Maybe they'll give Duke a game. We'll see. Clemson, North Carolina is an interesting game, and Louisville, Miami ought to be really, really good because Louisville, again, they're good. They're good is really good. They're bad, yeah, it's a little bit shaky. But Miami, a team you and I both have talked about off air, it's a team that we both think is getting very undervalued heading into this
Yeah.
thing.
Listen, Florida State started the season terribly, and there's no erasing that as we're about to get play restarted. But this is a team very much an NBA-like team as far as they will take a ton of threes, and if they're hitting them, they can beat Duke tonight, and they can beat just about anyone in this tournament if those threes are falling. Virginia inbounds to restart play. DeRitter at the top of the arc, feeds it right. Jakari White into the game for the first time for Virginia, averages about 18 minutes a game off the bench, and he throws up a wild 3 off right wing. That's an air ball with the shot clock winding down, so that's a shot clock violation against Virginia, and they turn the ball over, and it'll go back to State, and up come the Wolfpack. There is no way, particularly with the injuries. I know Duke is an extremely good team. They're number 1 in the country for a reason, and they're still an extremely good team with the injury situations that they have with Foster and Gungba. No way they should be a 17.5-point favorite tonight, as the Wolfpack have it with Copeland at the free throw line, leans in, then kicks it back outside. McNeil with a return to Copeland, left corner, fakes the 3, drives on DeRitter on the baseline, throws up a floater. That misses everything and is also a shot clock violation. So 30-second violation on back-to-back trips as Virginia forces the turnover, and Ryan Odom will get Tess DeRitter out of the game, and he'll get a breather on the bench. And here comes Virginia up again. Mallory, a freshman from Charlottesville, scored 11 points in 19 minutes when these two teams played on February 24th. Dips it inside for a catch and drive by Ugana Onienso, who missed the runner off the front of the rim. Rebound NC State. Williams turns it into the right corner. Matt Abel, a freshman from Baltimore, around the horn left wing McNeil. Dribbles left and hands off Copeland. Back up top Abel, playing catch with Copeland. Now directed to the right of the lane, where it's taken on a back end by Williams, who dumps it down. Back door, Lubin's open, and he slams it down on a pretty backdoor play, and Lubin has 8 of NC State's first 11. Virginia's back quickly, and it's turned back up top to a trailing White, who steps into a 3 and nails it. Jakari White, after just throwing up that air ball 3 a moment ago, knocks that one in. He shoots 43% from beyond the arc. He is always able to change a game if he gets hot from outside. Driving the left baseline, Copeland drew a double, gave it across the lane. Lubin, who tossed it in the right corner. Tough ball to catch for Abel. He did, and then got it to Williams. Williams, right-handed dribble, stops on the lane line. Fadeaway jumper in the mid-range, misses too strong. Rebounded weak side by Virginia's Sam Lewis. Lewis hits the brakes in transition, and Virginia gets back on offense. Off left wing, Mallory lines up a 3 and sticks the landing on it. Chance Mallory knocks down the triple, and we're tied at 11. Mallory at just under 10 points per game on the season. Quadir Copeland again for NC State. Copeland started his career at Syracuse, played 2 seasons for the Orange, then went to McNeese last year, followed Will Wade to Raleigh. Whipped outside, McNeil lines up a 3 off left wing, and he slingshots it down, and the threes are falling early on both ends. Just under 7 minutes gone, as you can see, a 14-11 lead for NC State. Behind the back dribble, Lewis worked his way to the foul line. Now to the ACC logo. Fadeaway jumper, 12-footer, no. Left it short. Lubin the rebound. Got it to Abel, who then tossed it back for Williams to bring it up. Lubin a high screen. Williams staggers his way to the right wing. Back for Lubin, top of the circle. Floated ball right of the lane. Caught there by Copeland. Backs his way in against White. Turns to his left. Quarterbacks it into the left corner. McNeil catches, fires a three. That clangs off the iron, no good. Rebound down to Devin Tillis for Virginia. His no-look pass inside is brilliant. It's caught by Onienso, cutting to the rim, and he lays it in. Great feed inside, and it's Ugana Onienso, the 7-footer from Nigeria, who finishes in tight. Here's Copeland, top of the circle, feeds it right, putting it on the deck. McNeil drives in, draws a foul on the floor. It's going to go against Shakari White. Well, of course, for so long, this Virginia program was known for their pack line defense under Tony Bennett, who led Virginia to ACC Tournament titles in 2014 and 2018. Of course, famously won the national championship in 2019. Abel inbounds near side front court to Williams, but this is a different team now under Ryan Odom. As out of the right corner, McNeil tosses to the left wing. Shot clock at 7. Driving in Abel with the left hand. Able to toss it up and in off the glass. The freshman Abel with that runner makes it 16-13. And here's a turnover at the other end. Abel stepped inside the passing lane and got a steal. And he's fouled in transition. And that foul against Devin Tillis, who grabbed Abel just inside midcourt. Will Wade is wanting a transition take foul to be called there, and I'm not sure if he's going to get his wish on that or not. We get the under-12 timeout here with NC State up 16-13, holding their ground here early as the underdogs, but we know how these conference tournaments work as well. These, depending on how you want to classify the number, higher seed or lower seeds, they get games in, and NC State did play yesterday. They're warmed up, they're tuned up, they're ready to go. Virginia got the double bye. It's a good start here for NC State. Of course, we talked about earlier how NC State's bad has been really bad this season. No one can speak to that the way Seth Eves can. Seth, you were on this channel. Okay, you were on the past version of this channel a few weeks ago, and you watched NC State.
I know what you mean. I know.
Yeah. You watched NC State get absolutely obliterated by Louisville. What a catastrophe that was! 41-point win by Louisville at home over NC State. What's been your take watching this NC State team this season?
I think you hit it on the head. It's a team that is very talented. When they're on and can beat almost anybody, but boy, when they're off, I don't want to call out effort, but it seems like they get disinterested once adversity really slaps them in the face. I just think about that Louisville game that I did. Their game against Duke a couple weeks ago at home just looked completely disinterested. So once it got out of hand, so I don't know what this team is. I mean, if they win today, they could be in an 8-9 situation in the NCAA tournament, and well, who knows? They could lose to the 9, but they could also win and beat the 1 if they advance. You just never know. Update from Cleveland, 13:35 to go. Miami O up 52-44 on Massachusetts.
And when you hear that score, remember that game started at 11 a.m. Eastern, so that is in the second half. And Miami trying to remain undefeated and work its way to the semifinals of the Mid-American Conference Tournament. Wow, as we come right out of break and play has restarted here. Well done, ESPN. Here's McNeil with a drive up the middle, and his floater misses, but he draws a foul. Fouled by Malik Thomas. The transfer from San Francisco, originally from Fontana, California, and SoCal. NC State is a team that can get their opponent in foul trouble. They get to the rim with a lot of reckless abandon at times, and they do draw some fouls, but it's also a team that lives a lot with three-pointers. McNeil hits his first free throw. In fact, this is a state team that averages just over 10 made threes a game. Ranked third in the ACC and top 30 nationally. Second free throw from McNeil is good. Off to a good start here this afternoon. High noon in Uptown Charlotte, an 18-13 lead for NC State. Dallin Hall out of Plain City, Utah, up the floor for Virginia. Handoff right wing Thomas. Return for Hall in the corner. Now Thomas up top. Swings it wing to wing. This way Tillis gives in the corner. White baseline drive. Tried to shoot it into the corner for Hall, and it was knocked out of bounds by the outstretched hands of McNeil. It will stay with Virginia on this end of the floor. Shot clock at 13. Lubin to the bench to get a breather for NC State. Ball inbounded by Abel. Make that by Hall as he gets it into the right corner, and then Hall got it on a return. Dangerous pass, found Thomas on the right elbow, whose jumper crawls in off the front of the rim, and he got fouled, and a chance at a three-point play. Well, they took the scenic route to get that basket from Malik Thomas, who got his left arm slapped by Williams when he released that jumper. And a chance at a three-point play for Thomas. Came all the way across the country from San Francisco to Virginia. Even before San Francisco, he was at USC. Williams just picked up that foul, his second, so he heads to the bench to get a breather, and will probably get quite a long breather with still better than 11 minutes to go in this first half, and he has 2 fouls. Mentioned the depth on this NC State team has been an issue all year. They rank outside the top 200 in the country in bench points as Thomas knocks in the and one free throw. They average only 23 bench points per game, 202nd in the country to be exact. State into the front court, handled by Copeland. Outside right, defended by White. Swings it left. Drive inside. Nice dish underneath the basket to Musa Sanye, who had it blocked. Then he got it back and laid it in. Sanye in for Lubin. And Sanye able to get stuff done underneath as well when he comes out onto the floor. Averages 13 minutes a game off the bench. Here's Virginia on the ball again. DeRitter on the outside tried to shoulder in, threw it cross court. Thomas caught left arc, was able to run to the inside. His baseline jumper misses. Rebound down to State. Here's Abel again. Centered ball for Copeland. Calls for a screen and gets it from Sanye. Copeland behind the back dribble, got to the left elbow. Swirled it back off right wing for Terrence Arsenault. The Houston transfer drives and glides his way in, and hits a fadeaway jumper off the right baseline. And Arsenault, who was a part of that Houston team that made it to the national championship game last year, knocks that one down. 22-16 lead for NC State, as you can see, midway through the first half. Onienso, top of the arc, dribbles left hand off DeRitter. DeRitter turns the corner, drives inside, and it punched away. Loose ball taken by Copeland. Lofted ahead in transition. Sanye tried to play it across to Holloman, but had it knocked away. It's a State turnover. White at the other end leans into a jumper at the ACC logo just inside the foul line, and it bounces off the back of the rim and drops in. Jakari White with his second field goal, and it's 22-18. NC State ball. Copeland off left wing, tried to drive inside, and he went down to the hardwood, and a foul is called, and I think it's called against Dallin Hall. Looked to be some incidental contact, but a foul nonetheless against Hall. Transfer from BYU. Get ready to do these games, and I feel like just about everybody on a college basketball roster is either a freshman or they're a transfer. Has anyone stayed at a school for more than 3 years? More than 2 years. Inbound underneath. Copeland got it right underneath the basket to Arsenault, who rose up and missed the shot in tight. Virginia the rebound. Up the floor quickly. Thomas shot fake. Muscles his way into the lane, and in that blue paint, turns to his right and hits a fadeaway jumper from 8 feet away. Thomas with the basket. It's 22-20. Holloman, the senior from Minneapolis. Speaking of transfers, he came over from Michigan State after 3 seasons with Tom Izzo and the Spartans. Spins it left on the wing. Copeland, entry feed. Lubin, who's back in, off the left baseline. Shovels it into the corner. Abel, baseline drive. Got it down low to Lubin, who missed the layup off glass. Rebound on Ienso. Forwarded for Mallory, who shoveled it back to DeRitter. And then Hall in the lane throws up a lob, and Ienso cranks it down with a two-handed flush, and we're tied at 22. Ienso has been a real tremendous star off the Virginia bench this season. Hasn't started a single time, but yet he ended up third in voting for Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Here's Holloman. Works his way to the right elbow, backpedals to the perimeter. Directs it back left for Copeland. Shot clock at 10. Copeland puts his shoulder into the chest of Hall, into the lane, turns left. Oh, and a high floater. Glances off the window and in. Puts NC State back in front. Copeland's first basket, and at the other end, Abel was jousting with Mallory, and Abel's called for the foul as he reached in to try to punch it away from the freshman. Interesting, talking about Ienso finished third in Defensive Player of the Year voting, despite not being a regular starter. Malik Brown of Duke won Defensive Player of the Year honors, and he rarely starts for the Blue Devils, although he will be in the lineup as long as Duke is in this tournament with no Patrick Gungba. That foul on the floor. Virginia will inbound near side front course. Lewis whips it in for DeRitter. Left of the lane, he catches. They come with a double. Back out Hall. Pitch to the right wing. Lewis with an arid pass into the corner. That cannot be handled cleanly by Mallory. It's out of bounds. A turnover by Virginia, and that will lead to a timeout with under 8 minutes to go in the first half. A 24-22 lead for NC State as we are underway on quarterfinal Thursday at the ACC Tournament. ACC Tournament, Seth, we love it around here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
It is a special event, the ACC Tournament. There's no...
I call it the granddaddy for a reason.
Yeah. It is quite the event.
This month is the best, but...
Yeah, well, we love it all. We love it all. All right, Seth, everyone wants to know about Miami. What's going on over there with the Red Hawks? Are they going to stay undefeated today?
Well, UMass is making them sweat, which, by the way, we have gone this far in, and now I'll be the first to mention that the stupidity of UMass in the MAC. But nevertheless, Miami O, as we call them here to differentiate, 11-18 to play in the game. It's a 59-52 lead for the Red Hawks. So still a ways to go in that game, 11-10, but Miami O trying to get to 32. And real quick, couple other score dates to tell you about. Iowa 16-15 on Ohio State in the first half. St. John's is up 15 on Providence, and they're just underway in both Kansas City and Nashville. 2-2 between Iowa State and Texas Tech, and Missouri leads Kentucky 3-0.
Kentucky had to fight hard for a victory yesterday over LSU. How strange was that? I don't know if it struck you as many times as it struck me, Seth, but I kept looking down at that score, and it kept striking me how strange it was to see Kentucky playing in the first round of that tournament.
What does $22 million get you? Apparently all it gets you is a 9 seed and brunch on Wednesday at the SEC Tournament, apparently.
Yes.
And so, yeah. Let's just say there's been better instances of $22 million being well spent, some would argue. But...
yeah, indeed. As play restarts here in Charlotte with NC State bringing the ball into the front court. 24-22 lead in this first ACC quarterfinal. And Quadir Copeland, the senior from Philadelphia, has it up high. Overlaps it to the left wing for Lubin. Handoff McNeil. Lubin sets a flash screen. McNeil back to Copeland with 7 to shoot. Drives up the middle. Muscles in on DeRitter. Tried to shovel it down low for Lubin, but has it stolen by Ienso, who His outlet comes to Mallory, takes a screen up top, turns the corner, drives into a ton of traffic, lost the ball, and it's Lubin away with the steal. Long outlet diagonally up the left side of the floor. Holloman pulls the trigger on a three, clatters off the cup, no good. Lubin had the offensive rebound, lost it to DeRitter. His outlet comes to Dallin Hall, and Hall will push the pace. Dives it inside on the Enso's. Got a big size advantage on Lubin. 7-footer to back down the 6'9" big man for NC State. Shoveled back into the right corner, then a quick return for Onienso, and he missed the shot in tight, but drew a foul as he got it back very quickly from Hall. And it'll be free throws for Onienso, who has gotten better as the season's gone on from the free throw line. He's up to 71% from the line. And that foul is on Darian Williams, who was on the floor. So they're going to call that foul on the floor, but that is a foul on Williams, and that's his third. And he goes back to the NC State bench, and he slaps a chair on the bench before sitting down. Inbound right corner, and free to fire Sam Lewis. Slingshots a three down and gives Virginia their first lead at 25-24. It's a huge third foul on Williams to have that kind of a player with 3 fouls with basically 7 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Copeland hopscotching into the lane. Turns and slips it back to the left corner. Arsenault's going to have to play big minutes with Williams on the bench. Turns the corner, drives, layup blocked by DeRitter. But I think they called a foul, and they did, and Arsenault, will they call that in the act of shooting, or will they say that was on the floor? Nope, they are going to send Arsenault to the free throw line. Arsenault out of Beaumont, Texas, last 3 seasons with Kelvin Sampson in Houston. So you know he's gone through it. That's a tough guy. You come from Houston and you spend 3 seasons at that program with Kelvin Sampson. Yeah, he's toughened up. First free throw misses. Practices have been stuff of legend at Houston the last few years, and that's why they're so tough to beat, especially this time of year. One more for Arsenault. Had just 2 points in 20 minutes in that regular season meeting between these two teams. He knocks in the second free throw, and we're tied at 25. Virginia brings it back up. White uniforms, navy blue numbers, orange trim. Into the front court. Hall leaves it in the hands of White, top of the arc. Reversal off the left wing on Onienso down with a dribble. Gallops left, hands off, taken by Tillis. Tillis weaves and zigzags to the left elbow. Draws a quick double, then they back away out of that, and he shovels it outside for Hall. Shot clock at 6. Hall dribbles across the lane to his right, trying to get rid of Arsenault. He can't. Dumps it inside on Onienso with the shot clock winding down. Hooks it up on the back of the rim. No. Tap follow wouldn't go. Rebound is out of bounds on a ping pong, and it's going to go to NC State. So State will have possession. Defense stiffened up on that trip. And the inbound comes to Lubin. Puts it into the hands of Holloman. Crosses the timing line into the front court to our right. White defends. Holloman between the legs on the dribble. Out for a screen is McNeil. Holloman takes and drives in. Layup blocked by Onienso. It's out of bounds off of him last. It'll stay with State. Onienso, big reason why he finished so high up in Defensive Player of the Year voting is because he led the ACC in block shots, and he got one there. He averages over 2.5 blocks a game. Swatted that one away. He's already at 2 blocks in this one. His 21st game of the year with multiple blocks. Inbound to the foul line. Copeland turns, looks towards the basket, dumps it inside, and the layup underneath would not go for Arsenault as Virginia was all over that. Now in transition, Lewis takes a quick 3 and knocks it down from the wing. And a timeout is taken by Will Wade in NC State as Virginia, who loves to run and push the tempo under Ryan Odom, they certainly did there, and that 3 ball falls. And Virginia leads with 5.5 to go in the first half, 28-25. Timeout taken by NC State. So timeout on the floor here. And let's head back to Seth as we should be inside the final 10 minutes of that MAC quarterfinal with Miami. What do we got?
8:19 to play, and the Red Hawk lead is now at 11 over the Minutemen. So looks like they are trying. They're getting close to getting to the finish line. May I say, for it to be in an early hour in an NBA arena, it is a great crowd in Cleveland. Of course, they always support the thing, but it's really uh, great crowd in Cleveland. Of course, Miami having the year they have probably doesn't help matters. Uh, or hurt matters, I should say, that they are having the year that they're having. So Miami up by 10. They're 9 now as UMass made a couple free throws. But I was thinking to myself, it's interesting, Matthew. In a way, Miami may have been one of the biggest winners uh, from the bubble chaos yesterday
Yeah.
because you're getting to a point now where you almost have no choice but to put them in regardless of what they do because you know just no one else wants to get in
Well,
apparently.
right, yeah, and as we've had a malfunction with the clock here, NC State just inbounded, but the clock didn't start, so officials have had to go to the monitors. But yeah, you're right. See, the the trouble with the bubble, if you will, is we can start sitting here and we can sit here and say that are we sure this team's safe? Are we sure this team's safe? Well, yeah, they're getting safer and safer because so many other bubble teams can't win. Cal didn't win. SMU didn't win. Well, didn't win yesterday. As NC State now will inbound as they got the clock sorted. Indiana
Indiana,
didn't win. I mean, Indiana lost twice to
Texas,
Northwestern. So, I mean, now
Texas,
now the
Virginia
bubble
Tech,
gets
Stanford.
crystallized a little bit more. As here's another NC State turnover. Mallory in transition got it to White, who threw up a running floater, wouldn't go off the left side of the rim on the INSO. Couldn't control the rebound, and here comes State the other way. Copeland gets to the right elbow, immediately starts to post up Mallory, shoots it down low. Lubin with a tough catch through traffic, and he hits the reverse lay-in. Lubin with another basket. He's got 10 points in the first 15 minutes here. 1-point game. Mallory, shot fake, steps to the left elbow, gets an open mid-range jumper that he misses. Copeland with the defensive rebound for NC State, and here come the Wolfpack again. Left-handed dribble for Copeland across the timing line. Standing on the left edge of the ACC Tournament logo, blue, white, and gray in color at midcourt. Now Copeland creeps towards the arc. Backs in on Mallory. Big size advantage here for Copeland, who is a big guard. He whips a pass to the right wing, Arsenault. Arsenault floats it back into the left corner. Catch there by Abel. Up for three, the freshman. Clatters off the rim to our right, no good. Rebound down to Tillis for Virginia. Outletted for Lewis. Lewis shimmies his way towards the rim. Reverse layup leaks off the left side of the iron, no good. Rebound taken by McNeil. Rockingham, North Carolina native brings it up before giving it into the hands of Copeland again. Tournament logo at midcourt. Mallory squares him up defensively. Copeland holds by his left waist. Dribbles once with the left hand, switches to his right. Lubin out high screen. Copeland in from the right. Chisels into the paint. Oh, nice head fake. Got to the rim, spun it up off the side, and somehow it would not go. On the INSO, the rebound. Mallory pushed it wide in the left corner, a three, and that was blocked by a leaping Matt Abel. It's out of bounds off of Abel last. It'll stay with Virginia, and that'll give us the under 4 media timeout here in the first half. Back and forth action we go. Copeland was criminally unlucky with that layup. He made two great moves to put the ball up on the side of the rim, and then it just fell off. 1-point game as we hit our final media timeout of the first half. But yeah, the bubble's starting to crystallize a lot just because so many teams have refused to win down the stretch of the regular season, and then some of those teams refuse to win in their conference tournament. So I know everyone's going to be offended by Auburn being in if they do indeed get in, but the problem is no one else
You gotta get
around them won.
somehow.
Yeah, you
And,
got to.
yet we want to expand the damn thing.
Yeah, you got to get to 68. They
Or,
can't.
or I'm doing my newest obsession. But you have to expand, and yet people want to expand the damn thing.
They can't just choose to only take 65 this season. They have to. They do have to choose 68. So you're
I'll
looking
tell
at
you who else.
Auburn, who won yesterday, while SMU lost, Indiana lost, California lost, Stanford didn't lose yesterday. They lost the day before. So I mean, yeah,
Mini Tech as well.
and
Well,
so I mean now they're in a position where they almost have to choose Auburn, and everyone's going to be upset about it, which I get it, but who?
here's the thing about it. Auburn was a big winner, unfortunately, for many yesterday. I thought Ohio State's a big winner. Ohio State's safe now. We thought they were
Oh yeah,
in trouble still a little
they're a
bit.
no-brainer at this point.
I'll tell you a couple other teams who start one today and will cover all the action at halftime, who I think have now got a little bit of gusto opened up for. That's New Mexico and San Diego State.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's opened up for them too. But my take on last night, F it, just put Belmont in. Just some of these teams, these one season, put Miami and Akron in, regardless of what happens in the MAC tournament.
Well,
Come on, let's go, people.
And that's certainly now open to a possibility, especially if it's Akron that wins the conference title.
Put South Florida in if they don't win the American.
I'm of the belief now Miami is in no matter what.
I think they are too.
Because now you've gotten to a point where so many of these bubble teams have not only lost, they've taken terrible losses. You can't. It's just, optically you cannot leave Miami out if they lose today, tomorrow, or Saturday.
You're preaching to the choir per usual.
So, yeah, these bubble teams have not helped themselves at all. And I mean, at some point you run out of chances to say, prove to me you can win this game, because now they're out of opportunities. And I mean, yeah. Cal and Stanford both in this tournament. I mean, had it right in front of them. I mean, Cal probably only needed to win yesterday. Stanford may have only needed to win one, maybe two, but they had opportunities to do that, and they didn't do it. So that's on them. Hey, hate it for you, but that's win a game.
Accept an NIT bid if you want to play more basketball.
Right, win a game. Virginia inbounding out of the timeout. Wow, DeRitter had to catch that in an awkward spot, tucked up right against the mid-court line. He drives in from the right, kicks into the corner. Three by Lewis wouldn't fall. And through traffic, leaping up for the rebound is Arsenault, who plays bigger than his 6'6 frame would indicate. Final 3.5 of the first half. 1 point Virginia lead. NC State's actually led the majority of this half. Abel at the top of the key. Feeds it back right in the corner. McNeil on the baseline. Fadeaway jumper in. The short corner goes down as McNeil swirls that in. And NC State reclaims the lead. McNeil's got 7. Dallin Hall for Virginia. Dribbling on the midcourt logo, directs it right. Mallory guided it on back to be taken by Hall again. Now Mallory, extra feed, right corner to Ritter. Fakes the three, puts it up top. Three, launch, line drive, misses. Mallory, scrap for the rebound, and that's out of bounds. It's going to State. So State will have it again. And up the floor they come in their red uniforms, white numbers, black trim. As here's Copeland bringing the ball up. Left-handed dribble for the lanky guard. Takes a screen, spins top of the circle, feeds it back left. Abel lines up an open look at a three and swishes that one down as Abel knocks in the triple. And it's a 7-0 NC State run. 32-28 they lead. Hall pushes it off to Mallory off right wing. Back for Hall again on the Inso up high with a screen. Hall off the left wing, staggers inside, flips it up with the right hand, high off the glass. That goes down for Dallin Hall. 2 minutes to go, first half. Who's going to end this half the strongest and go into the locker room with some momentum? Copeland again. Brings the ball up. Abel takes a high screen. Copeland jitterbugs his way inside. Backdoor feed intended for McNeil was knocked away. Stolen to Ritter in transition. Hall. Cross-court feed Mallory. Extra pass left corner. Lewis. Good head fake. Back up high to Mallory. That ball was over his left shoulder. He controls it well. Now off the right wing. Terrible pass by Hall as he tried to dart it inside for DeRitter. DeRitter saying he was held. But there's no foul call, and that pass was nowhere close to DeRitter. and a Virginia turnover, and those turnovers for UVA really starting to add up here in this first half. Here comes State again, trying to extend a 2-point lead for the final 80 seconds here of the half. Copeland drifts to his left, directs it up top. McNeil, catch and shoot three. That's wide right. Rebound tipped into the air by Onienso, controlled by Hall. Hall left-handed dribble into the front court. He's got the defender Arsenault at his hip pocket up top. Onienso launches a three. Glass and rim miss. Offensive rebound through traffic. Lewis goes back up with it. Lost it on the way up. And it's out of bounds to NC State again. And Virginia cannot stop turning the ball over. And Ryan Odom, with his arms outstretched on the Virginia bench, really has to be bewildered by the amount of turnovers his team's committing here in the first half. They commit less than 11 a game on average for the regular season. Again, bodies in the backcourt for Virginia as State inbounds, and Lubin gets doubled just in front of the NC State bench. Holloman comes over for the ball and gets it again. Darian Williams on the bench has picked up 3 personal fouls in this first half, so State without him, not only for the rest of this half, but probably for quite a bit in the second. Here's Abel spotting up right wing three, swirling miss. Rebound down to Hall. Chance for Virginia to go 2 for 1 if they choose. Doesn't look like they're looking to go 2 for 1, however, with a 15-second difference between the clocks. Hall outside right, carves his way inside, drew a crowd, dumped it back off to Lewis, who lost the ball, recovered, got it to DeRitter, who's free to fire out of the left corner, and he stamps down a triple, and Virginia's back in front despite all of the turnovers. Virginia with a 1-point lead as DeRitter sticks that corner pocket hit. NC State back the other way. Holloman, had it poked away in the backcourt by White. Holloman recovered, got it over the timing line just in time. 7:06 to go in the half. Holloman gives it up. Lubin drives in from the foul line. Layup blocked by Onienso. 2 seconds and 1 to go in the half. Hall gets off a runner at midcourt, and it's off the glass, no good, and that ends the first half, with Virginia holding on to a 1-point lead. NC State led most of the way in that first half. Virginia didn't help themselves out very much, committed plenty of turnovers, 6 of them in the half, which is over half of their per-game average, but yet the second-seeded Cavaliers own a 1-point halftime lead. Ryan Odom, it was here in Charlotte 8 years ago where his UMBC team beat Virginia in the first round of the NCAA tournament, the first time a 16-seed had ever beaten a 1 in the NCAA tournament. Now he is the head coach of the Cavaliers. They're back in Charlotte. Chance to go after an ACC tournament crown. They have a halftime lead of 1. We will return for the second half.
Well,
and let's get
I need you to
Seth.
I'm gonna need you to stay. I'm gonna need you to stay put because this is how we're gonna do it here. Just for this because it's the first game of the day. I'll run through all the games at each of the big tournaments, and I'll just ask you what to expect just from the day in general. As UMass has now taken the lead on Miami of Ohio.
I tell you, the Miami. One thing's for sure, they're gonna make you sweat out everything. They don't
You
win
better
easy.
believe that.
They do not win easy, but boy, they are professionals at winning these close, tight games.
Defibrillator sales have gone up in Oxford, Ohio this year. Let's put it that way. Excuse me. So let's start here at the ACC, of course. Halftime, Virginia 33-32 over NC State. Later today, Louisville plays Miami in the second game. That comes your way at 2:30. Then tonight, primetime, Florida State, Duke, and Clemson, North Carolina. 1,000-foot view of those other games, Matthew. What are you expecting from the ACC? What's your thoughts on the action today in Charlotte?
Miami just drilled a 3 to tie it. I mean,
they sure did.
So lackadaisically they did it, too. This early window with Virginia and Miami, I mean, those are two teams. Thank you, Happy. We were always going to get some dogs barking today because.
Oh, that's a dog named Happy. I thought Kevin Harvick was crashing on your couch. I was like, wow.
Yeah, Virginia and Miami, I think, have opened up. I think a lot of people are starting to finally take notice that they could do damage and possibly either one of them win this tournament, even though they were the 2 and 3 seeds, should have demanded respect before all the injuries. But yeah, no Caleb Wilson at North Carolina. That's for the rest of the season. No Caleb Foster and Patrick Gungba for this tournament for Duke. Foster even further than that. And I think with that news, people are starting to look, okay, well, what's going to happen in this ACC tournament? It feels wide open. Well, it is. And these Virginia and Miami teams have been good all year, although they haven't gotten a lot of publicity about it. And now those are two teams being looked at as teams that can go on a run and win this tournament. Problem is with that, they're running into teams today. We've already talked about the talent that NC State has. As long as they play good, sound basketball, they've got the talent to beat Virginia. Well, Louisville's obviously got the talent to beat Miami. Now, no Michael Brown. That's another injury in this ACC tournament. No Michael Brown for Louisville, but they still have plenty of firepower that can really get after Miami. They did not have Brown on Saturday, last Saturday of the regular season, Louisville, and they won in Miami 92-89. So that's the game coming up, as you said. Again, Virginia and Miami could easily win this tournament, but they could both easily lose today. I think this is a wide-open ACC tournament. We talked earlier about Florida State. If they're hitting threes tonight, they could absolutely beat an undermanned Duke team. And then North Carolina Clemson feels fairly close to a coin toss tonight. So I think you've got – it's unfortunate that we've had as many enormous injuries as we have had impact this tournament. But what it has created is a wide, wide open ACC tournament bracket.
Indeed it has. So with the injuries, what you're saying is if we were on our old platform, I could have played our theme to bring us into the ACC tournament coverage today.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Traditionally, nothing beats the ACC, but as far as in the moment this year, it's going to be hard to match the quarterfinals of the Big 12 tournament. The first one underway. They're halfway through the first half. Texas Tech leads 19-17 against Iowa State. Later today, UCF against Arizona. The night session, BYU Houston, TCU Kansas. Hello, Doctor.
Yeah. That's kind of... That's really insane. That's a really insane lineup.
Whispers. BYU was the 10 seed in
right,
this thing.
The 10 seed, and we know how talented they are, albeit inconsistent, but DeBonsa has gone crazy over the first 2 days here in this tournament, and they have a puncher's chance against Houston tonight. It was a huge win that UCF picked up yesterday over Cincinnati. We'll see what they have left for Arizona today. Iowa State just throttled Arizona State yesterday. But this is a different story with them playing Texas Tech today. And then TCU and Kansas played one of the crazier regular season games of the entire season this year. And they play late tonight, and it could get really crazy there, too. Darren Peterson might not play because he doesn't like the court.
Okay, it's a shame I have to ask this. Is that for real, or are you just saying
No,
that?
I have not heard that. I am not reporting that. I am speaking in what I hope is jest.
But it tells you something that actually can be a question that can be asked.
Yes.
Day 3 of the Big Ten tournament, halftime in the first game, Ohio State leading Iowa 34-30. Later today, Washington versus Wisconsin, Northwestern against Purdue, and Rutgers against UCLA. I see a whole lot of here.
Yeah. The Big Ten.
Because you think Purdue and UCLA should win,
yeah,
but you never know. I do feel like Wisconsin's kind of foregone conclusion with the way their guards play, though.
Yeah, you would think so. But yeah, the Big Ten, which they let everybody in, all 18 teams. So
wait, Maryland did take something out of this year. They made history as the lowest seed to ever win a tournament game on record of any kind.
Yes, indeed.
A 17 seed.
So the teams that are playing today, or at least the top seeded teams playing today, they all had double byes. And top 4 teams get triple byes. Of course they did. And but yeah, you're spot on about Purdue and UCLA. They're the favorites. They should win, but both of those teams should have won a lot of games this year that they didn't.
I will say Northwestern has a guy named Martinelli that is really, really good that can change
Oh
games.
yeah.
But
Oh my goodness, what a player that has stuck out in that program for all these years.
the Miami is just tied with 51 seconds
and,
remaining in the
and they got a
game.
ridiculous defensive stop before that where UMass should have scored probably 3 different times, and Miami just stuck their heels in the ground and forced a shot clock violation.
UMass post up, layup good. 33 seconds left. Minutemen. It says 85, 81, it's 83, 81. Someone got a little too trigger happy there. All right, here we go. Perfect season on the line. The ACC Nugget. Oh, boy. Oh, my God. Oh, they did turn it over. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. The perfect season might be in danger. Quinn Buck. Oh, get your champagne or whatever it is you do to celebrate the 76 Indiana team being last undefeated team. SEC. Kentucky leads Missouri 22-20 in the first half. Later today, Auburn, Tennessee, Ole Miss versus Georgia, Oklahoma versus Texas A&M. Nate Ament is going to play reportedly for Tennessee in this game. I have to think Rick Barnes has him on a minutes restriction.
You would hope so.
We definitely hope so.
Yeah, that's. I mean, this SEC tournament. I mean, I know everybody went crazy about the SEC last year, and for good reason. They're not what they were last year, but it's still a very deep conference, and this tournament this year is creating these kinds of matchups. But again, watching Kentucky early today, because where Kentucky lands on the bracket come Sunday, a lot of people are going to be looking at, because we know it's a Kentucky team that's talented and could do damage in the tournament if they play up to their potential, which they have struggled to do so through the majority of this year. We might be about to get a 1 in that Miami loss column, Seth.
It looks like it. They just missed a shot, but I think UMass got called for a foul.
Yeah, they did, and the question is, was that a foul shooting a 3? Because it's a 4-point game. They might have 3 free throws coming up here.
Good Lord. And of course, Oklahoma has come from nowhere to. I said they could be a walker. Now Oklahoma's won games to let them maybe back in to the bubble conversation.
Well, and I mean, listen, people. Again, they got to pick 68 teams.
If they win tonight and they beat a potentially a cupless Arkansas tomorrow, it might be hard to put them out. Just never know. Miami made a free throw. I do not know if they ruled that a 3-shot foul or a 2-shot foul. It is a 3-shot foul. Got the bounce, of course he did. So now a third free throw coming up. This is what's deal. There is no such thing as a normal halftime report this time of year on this day. Because now you're focusing on things. Oh, missed the third. Oh, missed the third.
Yeah, see, that's a terrible miss. Still.
Frank Martin. I think South Carolina wouldn't mind having him back.
Yeah, I think so.
St. John's, as expected, is rolling over Providence at half of the Big East, 48-27. 3 other Big East games today: Creighton, Seton Hall, Xavier, UConn, and Georgetown, Villanova. The Big East at MSG is special, but God, it just lacks some buzz this year, doesn't it?
Big East has had a rough year. Rough year.
This is the big one. He made the first. This is the big one. A big one at the MAC tournament. Oh, boy. If he makes this.
If he makes this, it's over.
It's over. Here's Marcus Banks. 17 points. The 18th, if he can make it. And he does. And it looks like Miami's perfect season is about to end. UMass nearly got a steal. It stays Miami ball, but if anything else, it ran off the clock. 5.9. This one looks to be over. So, don't need to waste that much time on it, really. I mean, I hate to be like that. God bless Pierre Moss and other Big East people, but it's just It's just not a lot there. So we're gonna get to the Miami. Let's get the Miami finish. 4 seconds. They're wasting too much time. 2 seconds. 1 second. 3 is no good. And Miami has lost for the first time this year. The UMass Minutemen, Dr. J's alma mater, pulls off a big-time upset, and they go into the semifinals in Cleveland, their first year in the MAC. And boy, have they busted up their first ever MAC tournament game. Boy, a heck of a way to do it, huh?
Yeah, this is something that the MAC has been doing for years. I mean, the MAC.
What did we say all year long? What did I tell you to say all year long? Miami was set a bunch of games and yet lose in the first round or the semis of the MAC tournament, and that's kind of what they had. Of course, UMass players taunting the Miami fans. That's to be expected after the maybe after the way Miami acted against Ohio on Friday night. So UMass will play either Bowling Green or Toledo in the semi. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say this now does open it up for Akron. Well, for anybody, but you would say the favorite is Akron. This now opens it up for the MAC to be a two-bid league, which has not happened since Wally Zerbiak was at Miami.
Hasn't happened this millennium. 1999, the last time it happened. So it does open it up. Bowling Green Toledo is the second game. To the other than the third and fourth games, Buffalo, Akron, and Ohio against Kent State.
And let's not bury the lead on this. Obviously, it's huge that Miami has lost a game, but as we talked about, we feel as if Miami's going to be in the tournament. Now, the committee could surprise us, but we feel that Miami's going to be in no matter what. This now, the MAC becomes a bid-stealing league, and a bubble team. Bubble teams did not want to see Miami lose. So now you're name any bubble team. You're California. You're Auburn. You're Ohio State if you think they're still a bubble team. Any of these bubble teams. Now you're in danger because Miami has lost. SMU, NC State.
How close are we to halftime? To halftime ending. Before I
90 seconds.
I know how to. 90 seconds. Okay. Real quick. GW leads Fordham in the A10, 53-40. You have any other thoughts on any other conference tournaments? The Mountain West, that could be a wide open affair. Any other conference tournaments on today's action you have before we get back to this game?
I would also just say something that we haven't gotten to here in this first halftime, and we're doing a lot of Miami. I would. The Big West can be crazy. It has been in years past. Watch out.
Indeed. So, a potential two-bid MAC, the big headline from the early window, as that was the drama that happened at halftime today. We'll see what happens tomorrow, but I'll leave you back in the oh-so-capable hands of our ACC king, Matthew Owens, second half of the Pack and the Wahoo.
Let's see what this second half looks like. Virginia with a 33-32 lead. A lot of turnovers in that first half from Virginia. They got really sloppy at times, but still a 1-point lead on an NC State team that, of course, is playing on back-to-back days. That can go, as I mentioned earlier, that can go multiple ways. That can either help a team to play on back-to-back days, or other times where it could really hurt, especially in the second halves of a back-to-back like this. NC State inbounds. They'll attack from right to left. Red uniforms, white numbers, black trim. Then Allen Lubin at a 10-point first half. He has it top of the arc. Jab step with the right, and his feed on a bounce pass to his right for Copeland was knocked away by Dallin Hall, but Hall is called for a reach-in foul. Again, Virginia beat NC State when these two played their only meeting in the regular season, February 24th in Charlottesville, by 29. Stayed on the inbound. Copeland at the foul line. Back outside for McNeil. Wrapped along for Lubin. Taken just beyond the right elbow. Down with a dribble. Backdoor feed. Copeland cutting in. Leans in. Misses the shot in tight, but he drew a foul. He was contacted by Johan Grunlow, who basically missed the entirety of that first half. Grunlow did because he picked up 2 quick fouls, and now, just 24 seconds into the second half, he's picked up his third. Foul trouble was a big theme in that first half. Grunlow had 2, and as I said, missed basically the entirety of the half. And Darian Williams for NC State picked up 3 fouls. First free throw from Copeland is good, tying the score at 33. Copeland was the high scorer in the second-round victory over Pittsburgh yesterday. He scored 24 points. Also stuffed the stat sheet with 4 rebounds and 8 assists. Second free throw rattles in. NC State has reclaimed the lead in a game in which they have actually led the majority of. Onienso will come back in for Virginia, with Grunlow picking up that's third foul. So one 7-footer out, another 7-footer in, and the Cavaliers in home white uniforms as the higher seed. Dark blue numbers, orange trim, attacking left to right, bring it into the front court. Handled outside right by Tess DeRitter, their leading scorer. Up high on Ienso, fades to the left wing for Lewis. Around the horn they go. Lewis entry feed. DeRitter draws a double team on the baseline. Shoveled back onto the wing. Thomas picked up defensively by Holloman. Thomas back for DeRitter. Again, they rush him with a double. Cross-court feed Hall. Extra pass on the wing. Lewis up for 3, and he knocks it down. The ball movement was crisp. And they got Sam Lewis, the junior out of Chicago, an open look at a 3, and he's hit 3 triples today, and Virginia's back in front. First-year Cavalier is Lewis, as a quick 3 at the other end is jacked up and missed by McNeil. Rebound UVA. Up comes Thomas, and he'll throw up another 3, and that one goes down off left wing. And back-to-back Virginia 3s gives them a 5-point lead, which is their largest of the game. First 3 of the night for Thomas. Shoots 34% from beyond the arc. Copeland the other way for NC State, who now trails by 5. Steps right through a screen. Plays catch on the perimeter with Williams. Now into the left corner. McNeil will line up the 3 and splash it down, and all of a sudden 3s are falling from every angle. Second 3 of the night from McNeil. He's up to 10. 2-point game. Blitzed with a double team on the perimeter. Hall threads a bounce pass into the right corner. Thomas drives the baseline. He gets shut off. Spins it back up top. DeRitter, extra feed. Thomas spots up. Right wing 3. Goes crying off the rim. Rebound on the weak side. Holloman in transition. Pushes the tempo. McNeil stumbles to the ground but recovers the ball. Back out Holloman. Jab step at DeRitter. Drives in the paint. Turns it back out. McNeil's open again. 3 up and down. McNeil hits 2 in a row, and NC State quickly eliminates that 5-point deficit and reclaims the lead. Back-to-back hits from McNeil. Now DeRitter at the other end for Virginia. Entry feed on Ienso. They don't come after him with a double this time. Copeland knocks the ball away. It's loose going into the Virginia bench, and a collision as flying towards the ball was Darian Williams. Darian Williams needs to be careful, first off. Go flying at a body like that with 3 fouls. I actually find it surprising that Will Wade has him out here this early in the second half with the 3. Never got a clear signal on whose ball that is. They're going to keep it with Virginia, who inbounds far side front court. Lewis up top for Hall. Steps to the elbow. Able to loft it into the corner where DeRitter catches and puts up a 3, and that goes spinning off the rim, no good. Rebound down to Copeland. Copeland with those long strides into the front court. Centering pass is knocked away. A steal by Malik Thomas, who in transition beats everyone down the floor, and he sledgehammers it home with the right hand. And Virginia reclaims the lead again as we go back and forth. Thomas with 10 points, his 23rd game in double-figure scoring on the year, as his one-handed punch puts Virginia up by 1. Copeland again for State. Directs it left. Lubin bounces it onto the elbow. Shoveled back out to Lubin from Williams. Lubin in the lane. Right-handed floater missed wide left. He missed it terribly. DeRitter the rebound. He's running the floor. Down the lane he goes. And he gets grabbed and fouled on his way to the rim by Holloman. And it'll be free throws for the Belgian Tess DeRitter. first team All ACC selection. Also received 1 vote for Player of the Year in the ACC. Which means there was 1 person that didn't vote for Cameron Boozer, is basically what that means. There's always someone. There's, whether it's Hall of Fame voting, don't get us started on that conversation.
You really gonna get me started on my soapbox on this happy day? Come on now, let's go. Move on.
DeRitter misses the first free throw short. But there is always someone. Hey, this guy's gonna win it, so I'm gonna give a vote to this guy. Tess DeRitter, a fine, fine player. He deserved to be first team All ACC. Nowhere close to Player of the Year in this conference. Second free throw rattles in. 42-40 lead for Virginia as State on the inbound brings it up with Holloman. Crosses midcourt, picked up defensively by Mallory. Switches hands on the dribble from right to left. High screen comes from Williams. Now the feed comes to Williams. Top of the circle, knifed away by Mallory. Williams a recovery. Now he muscles in, and his layup blocked by Anienso, who volleyball swatted it out of bounds. It'll stay with State with 9 on the shot clock. Anienso has 3 blocks now. Averages 2.5 a game. He's over that mark here as he just erased that runner from Williams. Copeland to inbound near side front court. Gets it into McNeil. McNeil up top, slashes, head of the arc, steps back with a 3, misses too strong, and Anienso's there to secure the rebound. DeRitter dribbles it forward for Virginia, puts it into the hands of Thomas, who whips it inside. Anienso with a lot of space against McNeil. Anienso lays it in. His 3rd field goal, and Virginia leads by 4. Copeland weaving and zigzagging into the front court, dribbles right down the lane, and he had it slapped away, but a foul is called on the floor. Going against UVA defensively. That'll lead to a timeout on the floor with under 16 to go in regulation time.
Ish just got real. And by that I mean look at the commentary box.
Well. It did just get real. we have
Hello.
We we have an Englishman amongst us on this great American day.
Does anyone want some fish and chips?
JT, how are we?
Busy. I have spent most of my college day in the TV studio. It has been incredible. But we turn TV studio into basketball, and we turn me opening up my PC into me trying to get some sort of stream deck ready for this broadcast.
I haven't seen him in a while, so I'm glad he's still got the mullet rocking.
It is still there. Do not worry.
I chopped a whole bunch of my hair off today, and I'm relieved about it.
Wow.
Yes, I'm not one. I'm not one that can do long hair. No. It's too much.
I was wondering where all of my stuff was, and then I realised that I've not scoreboarded on this PC before, so I don't have any of the logos saved.
That checks out. I don't think you would have had any of the logos saved anyway. I don't think you've been aboard for an NC State or Virginia game.
I don't think I have. Virginia Cavaliers. Okay, awesome. it doesn't like me putting in the Virginia CBK logo because it comes up with the Virginia National Bank Shares Corporation.
Oh.
Wow.
Sure. the Bankers will play in our 5th quarterfinal later tonight at 12:30 a.m.
Our 5th quarterfinal. That would be a quintal final.
It would, wouldn't it? If you are just twisting us in, and you are trying to get...
All hell has broken loose.
Well, indeed.
It doesn't take long.
Yeah, well, right. But yes, if you're just twisting us in, we are in the second half of this first ACC quarterfinal between Virginia and NC State, and the story of the day to this point in this early window of games is Miami University, the Red Hawks, have lost for the first time this year. Miami goes down, losing by 4 in the quarterfinals of the Mid-American Conference Tournament, losing to Massachusetts. So the Minutemen move on to the semifinals. Miami O is out of the MAC tournament, but I am no bracketologist, but if you ask me, they're in the NCAA tournament anyway.
I would think so. By the way, Iowa State hit a 3 to end towards the end of the first half. They're at the half in Kansas City. 36-33 Cyclones over the Red Raiders.
Very good. So Iowa State off that historic margin of victory yesterday over Arizona State, officially the final game for Bobby Hurley in charge of the Sun Devils. As NC State will inbound out of the timeout, Copeland gets the ball in. Left corner, Williams throws up a high lob for Lubin, who did a tremendous job just to catch it, and then he got hip-checked and fouled by Onienso. And Vin Allen Lubin will go back to the free throw line for NC State. 10-point first half for Lubin. And to the line he will go for one of the most effective and efficient players in the entire country. Third in all of Division I college basketball in field goal percentage. He shoots 68% from the field. First free throw is good. He's 5 of 5 from the foul line so far in this one this afternoon. Former Notre Dame Fighting Irishman, former Vanderbilt Commodore, former North Carolina Tar Heel, and from a Tar Heel, he turns in the Carolina Blue for the Wolfpack Reds. Second free throw is good. We have stories like that all across the country now. Roddy Gale, going from Ohio State to Michigan, stands out. Here's Chance Mallory into the front court for Virginia.
Some transfers shouldn't be allowed to happen.
Mallory threads it to his left. Tillis swings it. Right corner, White drives the baseline. Running floater goes down. Jakari White, as that one came down wet with the right-handed float game, and it's 46-42. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Copeland charges into the front court, picked up defensively by Mallory. Copeland a size advantage, backs in, shovels it out in the right corner. Williams up for 3, drops it down. Darian Williams on the floor with 3 fouls. That's his second 3 of the game. Here's a flash in by Mallory. Bounces it off the right wing. White able to turn his way into the lane, shoveled back out. Mallory drives the right lane line, tight ropes the boundary against Lubin. Oh, and Lubin's called for a foul. That's a terrible call. Lubin did an amazing job forcing a tight rope, and I don't think there was any contact there. Williams will head to the bench to get a breather, so Will Wade gets him into the game here to start the second half, then gets him out quickly to not pick up that 4th foul. Inbound from underneath, lofted out to the top of the circle, reeled in by Hall. Hall holds the ball over his head, looks for options. Looks left, looks right, throws it right. Mallory drives in. His running floater off the back of the rim, twice no good. Rebound down to Lubin. Quick outlet for Abel. Flushed it forward for Copeland. Copeland picked up defensively by White. Crosses over. Drives left. Leans in. Tried to shovel it back for Lubin. It was behind him. Lubin recovers. Plenty of time on the shot clock. It's at 15. Lubin stands between the rings. Top of the circle. Feeds it back. Copeland turns the corner. Knifes it into the right corner. Taken there by Arsenault. Arsenault crossover dribble. Now shot clock at 5. Fadeaway jumper Arsenault. Just beyond the right elbow. Miss short. Rebound down to Virginia's Devin Tillis. Tillis into the front court, left-handed dribble. Stops on a dime, gets 9 cents back in change. Bounce pass on Onienso, short corner left. Arsenault trying to cover him. Big size advantage here for Onienso. They come with a double, and trying to slap the ball away from him was Copeland, who's called for the foul on the floor. Third team foul going against NC State. Copeland picks up the personal. Virginia will inbound from underneath. Shot clock at 20. 1-point game. And they will have Dallin Hall come over for the inbound. White comes into the left corner. Hall can't get it to him. Instead tosses it in for Grunlow, who's back on the floor with 3 fouls. They loft it in for him. Grunlow to the rim, and it knocked away, recovered, and he scores. Johan Grunlow's first points of the game. He barely played in the first half with 2 quick fouls. Then he picked up a 3rd foul in the first 30 seconds of the second half. And the freshman from Germany, who averages 7.7 points per game, with his first basket today. Here's Copeland now, puts his head down, drives, hits the spin button to get inside, off-balance jumper in tight, misses short, rebound Tillis, outletted Mallory, gets it to Grunlow, driving the lane, and he lays it in. Beautiful feed to a cutting Johan Grunlow, who immediately comes in with the 3 fouls and makes his presence known. Virginia by 5. Here's Williams, short corner right. White right back in for NC State. He spins on White, draws a crowd, deposits it into the left corner for Abel, and Abel caught the ball standing out of bounds. It's an NC State turnover. So Abel with the turnover, freshman from Baltimore, and now Virginia's starting to turn the screws a little bit here. This 5-point lead matches their largest lead of the game. Inbound brought up by Mallory, the 5'10 guard. Directs a bounce pass off left arc. White darted in Mallory, shoveled into the left corner. Tillis drives in, finds space. Nice drop down to the back door, and Hall reverses it in, and now Virginia has a 7-point lead, their largest of the afternoon. Flashing into the front court like a shot and driving down the lane. Holloman stops on a dime. Lofts it back outside, off right wing. McNeil turns his way in, drops it off for Lubin. Knocked out of his hands and out of bounds by White. It will stay with NC State. Shot clock at 14. Virginia finding a rhythm here on offense, and a lot of it is because they finally have had Grunlow on the floor for an extended amount of time. Grunlow, an extremely important player to this team. And they can cycle in 7-footers between himself and Anienso, and they have all day long because of Grunlow's foul trouble. Williams will look to inbound it from underneath the basket to our left. Searching for someone to get it into, he does. Near left corner, it's McNeil. Steps up the baseline, shoots a tough fadeaway over White. Clatters off the cup, no good. Rebound slapped at, taken by Hall. Virginia the other way. Hall gives it for DeRitter. Cuts in from the left, in the paint. Throws it back to the outside. Hall on it again. Grunlow out for a screen. Now Grunlow has it at the top of the arc. Dribbles right, handoff to Ritter. Cuts left, turns the corner, draws a crowd, kicks left wing. Hall up for 3. Splashes it down. Dallin Hall gives Virginia a 10-point lead. Timeout NC State. A 9-0 Virginia run. And the first double-digit lead of the day for either team. DeRitter gets the assist as Dallin Hall knocks down the triple. And Virginia starting to take command nearing the midway point of this second half.
Matthew?
Yes.
Obviously, all the talk is about the bubble teams and the great matchups in the power conferences, but we don't discriminate around conference tournaments around here. Do you remember when George Washington was up by 1,000,000 points on Fordham?
Yes.
Fordham has cut it to 4 with 2:05 left.
That
And
checks
GW
out.
just missed a free throw. Fordham has the ball.
That checks out. Oh, dear me.
4-point game, minute 50 to go. It's going to be one hell of a comeback if this actually happens.
Now here's a.
They got the layup, 2-point game.
Now here's a question, JT. So JT has come in, and he's going to be the superhero of the day. He's going to take over scoreboard duties from me. JT, do you have pictures of this game? Is that a yes or no? Are you able to share those pictures with us so we can match up? Oh,
I
dear.
synced it with yours and the shot clock. But
Okay.
yeah, I should be able to. I just need to set up more systems.
Well, I I am out of the scoreboard, so it won't freak out that two people are in it at the same time. It won't have a panic attack.
I've just opened up the ACC conference schedule
Yeah.
for next year.
For next year.
What's this? Yes. What's this North Carolina TCU Dublin game?
That's the American football in Dublin.
Yeah.
Yes. For some reason, when I search ESPN, it put me on football, not basketball. Thanks, ESPN.
Well, all ESPN cares about is football, so
Well,
you know
yeah. That's very true. Even though college basketball ratings are up enormously, or as some people would say, hugely.
bigly.
The ratings are up bigly.
Foul. I was like, George Washington just missed another shot. But remember that George Washington now the Revolutionaries.
Oh my goodness, yes. Oh, for heaven's sakes.
It's the Fordham Rams,
The
not the Derby Rams.
Revolutionaries.
Not the Derby County Rams, JT, but the Fordham Rams.
Of course.
Where a lot of good broadcasters went to school.
I've got some bad news, guys.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
The 26ers are no longer a part of Baller League.
Oh, no.
Well, that's just
whatever will we do?
Worst news I've gotten all day. Play is about to restart. So anyway,
I'm on an interview right now.
yes, I do as well. Yes, with Miami head coach Jay Lucas. Now play restarts as NC State will bring it up the floor. Under 12 to go. 9-0 Virginia run here to push their lead to 10. And the Wolfpack need a response. Copeland left-handed dribble, switches to his right. Cuts to his right on the wing. White defends, giving up Lubin. Shoveled on back. Copeland on a weave. Handoff for Paul McNeil, who's been hot from three. Shot clock at 5. Copeland outside left. Back for McNeil. Coverage all around him. He's going to have to hoist up a shot from the top of the arc. A desperation three goes down for McNeil. And he is seeing that hoop widen and widen as his day goes on. His 4th three. They desperately needed that. Now Virginia with White, right corner. He'll rise up for 3, and he rips the cords from downtown as White answers the triple from McNeil. White with 10 points. His per-game average is 9. Copeland back into the front court for NC State, searching for answers here. Top of the arc is Copeland, drifts to his right against Hall. Hands off for Holloman, who tried to turn the corner, but it was sealed by the defensive Lewis. Now he'll try to go around him to his right. Inside, giving up Lubin, who goes up and gets fouled, I believe, possibly by Grunlow or White. If it's Grunlow, it's his 4th, which would be a big story, as that will lead us to a timeout on the floor with under 12 to go in regulation time.
This is peak college basketball fighting for the floor in this GW Fordham game. It's so glorious. So quick question. Since he's not here, I'll ask. JT's only running scoreboard for the second game today, right? Oh, there he is for the second game, correct?
That is what is on the dock, but JT can always surprises us at times.
Now, if he doesn't want to, I just need to make sure I know. That way, when I get on tonight, do I need to do it? I'm asking it as a preparation question.
Question.
Not as begging for any outcome of the other for him to be there or not. It's just a preparation question.
I never liked asking questions.
I just love preparing us. Jeff Goodman says you want to get people to watch the first 4, Miami of Ohio versus Auburn.
My scoreboard.
What? He's up and singing now.
Boy.
Saquon Barkley up and singing.
Oh, shut up. It is a good day. We're not bringing that down. I don't give a damn about that damn Chris Feller.
That was a
But we
that.
thought
See,
because
that
he
was
was a college guy, we thought because he was a college guy, you thought wrong.
yeah. See, that was a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake on my part. That is personal foul number 1 on Mo.
Mo.
Not Fittipaldi either.
I was gonna say, you know what you should your name this time of year you should make your name like Matthew Owens Peterson, so we call you MOP.
Of course.
MOP, baby.
Does that mean we can officially say that Matthew Owens has absolutely mopped the floor with the amount of 3-pointers he's
God.
thrown today?
Oh,
Jesus.
boy.
All right, let's get this back on the rails somewhat here. They're reviewing something in this George Washington Fordham game. That's the beauty of March. You don't wake up thinking you're going to be enthralled with George Washington Fordham. But by God, it's a close game, and it does.
You never know what's going to you never know what's going to catch your eye and what's going to make you crazy this time of year. About to restart play here in Uptown Charlotte at the Spectrum Center. Quarterfinal Thursday at the ACC Tournament. Of course, for so many years, quarterfinal day in the ACC was on Friday. The final was on Sunday. That changed. Goodness, it's been a while since that's changed now. Longer than I thought.
2015 was the first year we had a quarterfinal Thursday.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of conferences have started to go away from the Sunday final, and well, the reason for that is because reason for that is because the committee doesn't really pay attention to Sunday games that much. Even though
unless there's a bid stealer in one of them.
They'll tell you that contingency brackets have been made. Okay. Free throws.
George Washington just made a free throw. They're up by 4 with 23 seconds left to get another one coming.
Free throws out of this timeout for Vin Allen Lubin of NC State. His first free throw is good. Still perfect at the line is Lubin. And one more to come. Let's try to make this an 8-point game. 10.5 to go in regulation time. Second foul shot is down. If it wasn't for Lubin and McNeil today, NC State would really be reeling as Virginia brings up the floor with Hall. Across midcourt, defended by Holloman. Shoveled off the left wing for DeRitter. Return to sender for Thomas. Thomas off the top of the arc directs it back for Hall. Outside left. Shoots it inside. Left to the lane, DeRitter. Backs in on Lubin. DeRitter looking for room. Faked right, went left. Hooked it up, no. Battle for the rebound. Spiked out of the air by Lubin. Here comes NC State. Needing a bucket here as we strike the midway point of the second half. From the right elbow, Copeland leans in, shovels it up with the right hand. It wouldn't go down. Rebound taken by Grunlow and lofted on for Hall. Hall finds space on a drive up the middle, and he went to the rim and got met at the summit by Lubin, and they call it a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with Virginia. So Virginia will keep possession as Lubin gets a block out of that. They called it a held ball. Hall lofts it over the top on the inbound, top of the arc, Thomas. Thomas backpedals back to the hash mark, scans the defense. Grunlow with a screen. Thomas, a reversal, left wing. Lewis, jab step, up for 3, and Sam Lewis knocks down another one. And Virginia starting to knock down a bunch of threes in this second half, and that's what's given them the separation. 61-50. Copeland the other direction. State starting to run out of time and options. Copeland gives it up. Williams curls his way to the left elbow. Bounces it inside. Lubin able to turn around. The defender DeRitter went to the rim and got run into by Grunlow. Grunlow blocked the shot off the glass. They're going to count that basket, however, as a goaltend, and they may get Grunlow for a foul as well. So that shot's going to count. And did they also give an and one to that? Both Lubin and Grunlow ended up on the deck. If it is a foul on Grunlow, it would be his 4th. with still a bit over 9 minutes left. And Grunlow looks to be holding his right wrist as he goes over to the Virginia bench. And the officials are heading to the monitor, I think, just possibly to confirm whether or not it was a goaltend. It did look like that hit the glass first. And yeah, Virginia is challenging. Oh, here's JT's favorite time. We get a coach's challenge from Ryan Odom and Virginia. So JT gets to cook on the scoreboard, which he enjoys doing.
While they do that, George Washington does hang on to beat Fordham 66-62. Next up for GW, top-seeded St. Louis tomorrow in the A10 quarterfinal.
Oh, and St. Louis has really been limping to the finish line.
Wait, have they?
That's a winnable game for old G-Dub.
G-Dub. GW. Oh, GW.
Still this review going on. Ryan Odom did trigger the challenge.
Trigger.
Oh, hello. Wow. Loud noises. Loud noises from dogs.
And JT has the ACC Tournament quarterfinal thing in red
Yes.
to indicate there's a challenge.
Indeed.
Like we said, this is where he cooks.
Now, see, this is interesting. So, because Ryan Odom challenged this, they must be really sure that this isn't a goaltend. That ball absolutely hit the glass, but now that we've been able to get replays of it, only maybe Grunlow deflected it himself off the glass, in which case this would not be goaltending. And the verdict has just come down, and they are going to wipe that basket off. That is a successful challenge from Ryan Odom in Virginia. That's a really good challenge because it looked clearly that it went off the glass, but upon the review, it was because Grunlow deflected it off the glass. So that's a great challenge. And JT gets the call. Yeah, call is overturned. and the basket gets swiped away, and it remains 61-50. Oh, boy. Incredible scenes.
JT is goated.
Yes, he is. So NC State will keep possession. They'll inbound from underneath as the ball did go out of bounds off of Grunlow last. They'll also want to make sure that Grunlow's okay. He was holding his right wrist as the inbound comes left baseline to Williams. Popped it to the top of the arc. Taken to the foul line by McNeil. Leans into a jumper miss short. Back tap by McNeil. Recovered by Copeland. Given to Williams, who steps into a three. Missed it wide left. Another offensive rebound. Lubin knifes it into the lane. Extra pass by Williams to the right corner. Open look at a three. McNeil swirling miss. And finally, Virginia secures the rebound with Hall. 3 chances that trip. Here's Thomas up top launching a three early in the shot clock, and that's an air ball. Out of bounds, untouched. It'll go back to State. Ryan Odom will not like that shot selection whatsoever. And back to NC State it will go. Winner moves on to tomorrow night's first semifinal, which will be played at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. State into the front court. McNeil. Top of the arc, feeds it back left. Copeland curls middle of the floor, takes a Lubin screen, climbs right, blocks. Underneath Copeland, shovels it back out. Up high is McNeil, drifts left, feeds it that way. Williams cuts in and, through all kinds of contact, muscles a shot up off the glass that didn't go, but he drew a foul on Hall. So Hall called for the foul. Free throws coming up for Darian Williams, one of the top players on this NC State team. 3-headed attack of Williams, Copeland, and Lubin on this team is lethal. Williams misses the first free throw. All 3 of those guys average 14 points per game, and then you have McNeil at 13.5. McNeil heading to the bench here. He gets a much-deserved breather. He's been on the court a lot in this one. Malik Thomas will go to the Virginia bench. One more at the line for Williams. After missing the first, he irons in the second to make it 61-51. But NC State certainly starting to run out of time as Virginia brings the ball up with Hall. Crosses midcourt. Right-handed, high, hard dribble. Directs it left. DeRitter takes a screen, drives in, and goes underneath the basket. And the reverse layup is good for Tess DeRitter. And it's 63-51. DeRitter with 11. As the freshman from Belgium, who's been so good all season long with the basket. At the other end, Copeland leaps into the lane, and his right-handed floater went all the way around the rim twice and dropped in, making it 63-53 with under 8 to go. Mallory back on the floor for Virginia. Skitters to his right, feeds it that direction. White, and we get contact away from the ball. Foul going against NC State. Arsenault was grabbing DeRitter. And that will lead to a timeout on the floor with 7.5 to go in regulation time. Virginia shooting 49% from the field now and leading NC State by 10 in this ACC Tournament quarterfinal. I will hand you off to Seth for an update as I have messages to tend to behind the scenes from our guy JT. Seth, what you got?
Well, we got a lot, as you would imagine, as we update you on other things happening. Other Power Conference men's tournament action. Iowa was down by about 12 points at one point, but they've now cut it to 6 against Ohio State at the Big Ten tournament's third round. Buckeyes lead 59-53. St. John's, the top seed of the Big East, cruising past Providence, 75-54. Iowa State leads 47-39 over Texas Tech in the Big 12 quarters. The SEC, Kentucky now up 14, 45-31 on Missouri. The second MAC quarterfinal is underway. Toledo leads Bowling Green 12-4. Big story there. The winner there does not get Miami of Ohio. They get UMass, the Minutemen, stun the Redhawks in the first game of the day in the MAC tournament. So that gets you caught up on what all is happening at the present time across the land.
Thank you, Seth.
You're welcome.
And this trio will be here with you for our second ACC quarterfinal between Miami and Louisville, which will start about 25 minutes after this game comes to an end. Yes, JT, scheduled start times for conference tournaments, that is only a suggestion. Scheduled start times in conference tournaments.
There's a reason every time I mention it, I channel my inner Pat O'Brien, who would say multiple times at NCAA tournament on CBS. Tip time slated for 2:30. Don't hold us to that.
Yes.
Matthew,
JT.
don't we love a 1:30 broadcast, a 1:30 advertised green flag time on all the TV networks? The green flag time is actually 2:13.
Yes. It's always appreciated.
Yes, I'm going to be quiet now because I can see the TV picture about to go back into the down.
And Virginia set to trigger the ball in from underneath. They get it into DeRitter, who swings it back up top. White, off right wing, entry feed DeRitter, drew a crowd, kicked it to Hall. Left baseline drive, spins in, now kicks it back out, and DeRitter from the top of the arc ends up taking a 3. Line drive misses short. Rebound down to NC State, who has really struggled on offense in this second half, particularly the last 5 or 6 minutes. Lubin, top of the arc handoff for Abel, reverse back up high. Holloman, straight on 3, pours in for Trey Holloman. That will help matters, making it a 7-point game. Now can they get a stop at the other end against a Virginia team shooting nearly 50%? White steps into a right wing 3, and he knocks it down, and Virginia now has made their 12th 3 of the game, and Sha'Carri White has 3 of them. And the lead right back up to 10. That feels like a back-breaking sequence for NC State to finally get A 3 to go down, and then Virginia to answer. Here's Abel turning the corner, drive up the middle, lefty layup blocked. Oh, Onienso gets another one. He's got 6 blocks. At the other end, Virginia lets it rip from the left corner, and Hall airmails a 3. Lubin rebounds it. Outlets for Copeland. Copeland hits the spin button hard, gets in the lane, draws a crowd, shovels it out to Lubin. Lubin in the paint, swings it to Arsenault, back up top, directed on into the hands of Copeland, who puts it on the deck, drives up the middle, gets to the rim, lays it up on the back of the rim. No, Copeland got it back, shoveled left corner, Abel free to fire, and Abel rips the cords out of the corner pocket for 3. 9th 3 of the game for NC State. And Abel has 2 of them. He's got 10 points, 7-point game. Onienso, short corner right, drew a double. Had it blitzed out of his hand around the horn. To the left corner, 3 by White. Hit the side of the backboard, but a fortuitous bounce led the rebound into the arms of DeRitter, who is right underneath the cylinder, and he lays it in. NC State just can't catch a good break either. They're being outplayed, and all the bounces are going Virginia's way, it would seem. 9-point lead for the Hoos. Lubin top of the arc, handoff Abel, and then he got body checked by Mallory, and the foul is called against the Virginia guard. 9-point game, just north of 5 to go in regulation time. DeRitter with that last basket with 13 points. And NC State is now into the bonus, as that's the 7th team foul against Virginia. So 1-1 coming here for Abel. And maybe that is a path for NC State to get back into this game, is draw some fouls and get to the free throw line. Abel hits the front end. NC State with 11 ACC Tournament titles, 3rd most all time. Bet you can't guess the 2 that they're behind. And the last time they did it, of course, was in 2024. That miracle run that we'll never, ever forget. Abel's second free throw is good, so he hits 2 at the line with the clock stopped to make it 68-61. Virginia on offense, and Mallory across the timing line. Left-handed dribble on the tournament logo at midcourt. Drifts left, handoff taken Tillis. A weave for Lewis. Then left again for Mallory. Around a Lubin hedge. Directed right for White. White entry feed Tillis. Short corner right. In the mid-post. Turns it back outside Lewis. Top of the arc. Shot clock's at 5. And Lewis has it knocked away and stolen by Lubin. In transition, Copeland does not have numbers. He's going to go to the rim anyway and miss the reverse layup. Rebound down to Lewis. In hindsight, might have needed to back that out and wait for help to arrive. Now here's Virginia. In the right corner, Tillis shoveled it down low. Onienso lost it. There's another Virginia turnover. They had 6 in the first half. That's only their 2nd here in the second half, but NC State has it. Chance to cut into the deficit, which stands at 7. Lubin top of the key, and now he has it slapped away and stolen by Mallory. In transition, Mallory to the rim. Layup blocked by Copeland, who got back. It's out of bounds off of him. It'll stay with Virginia. What an effort, though, by Copeland defensively to get back and deny Mallory of the transition bucket. Possession stays with Virginia, however. Quadir Copeland, who had a huge game yesterday against Pittsburgh with 24. He's been limited to 6 points on 2 of 8 shooting by the Virginia defense today. NC State needs a stop. Plenty of time on the shot clock. It's at 24, so they've got just about a full shot clock cycle here on the inbound. Hall from underneath to try to get it in. He does, short corner right to Onienso. Onienso turns back against Abel before he deposits it into the near right corner for Lewis, who puts it on the deck. Drives at Abel in the lane. Fadeaway jumper blocked from the side by Abel, who arrived on the scene. Loose ball to Williams. NC State with another opportunity. Williams knifes it to the top of the arc. Holloman on the deck, drives on Hall. Running floater off the back of the rim, no. Offensive rebound. Oh my goodness, and McNeil went up and had it knocked away. A block. Virginia the other way. Thomas down the lane, missed the runner. Onienso's there to scoop up the offensive rebound and tap it back home. And NC State has been afforded many opportunities here the last couple of minutes and haven't taken advantage of them. 9-point game, under 4 to go. Lubin up high. Handoff Abel. Dribbled it off his foot, did he? It's out of bounds to Virginia. And NC State, they've looked several gift horses in the mouth here in the last few minutes. And we'll get our final media timeout here with Virginia up by 9 and 3.5 minutes away from playing here tomorrow night in the semifinals. Cavaliers by 9. Seth, what you got?
Yes, indeed. Updating you on the other Power Conference games, it is still a 6-point lead for Ohio State in the Big Ten with 56 to go. 85-64, the lead for St. John's against Providence. Iowa State has now opened it up on Texas Tech, 53-39 with 12-14 to go. And Kentucky up by 10 on Missouri. Also, the second MAC quarterfinal is underway. Toledo leads Bowling Green 17-8 early in that one. So that's what's happening as we are moving toward the finish line of this first of the early session of games on Mega Conference Tournament Thursday.
You mentioned Iowa State opening it up against Texas Tech. So I have a question about that for you, Seth.
Hit me.
When we get to next week and we're filling out the big bracket, I find those to be two extremely difficult teams to figure out, Iowa State and Texas Tech.
Yeah. I would agree with that. There's a lot of teams I feel that way about, though, to be perfectly honest with you.
Do we think Texas Tech can go on a big run without Toppin?
Doubtful. The coach is the only reason why I can't give it a complete no-no. But it's going to be difficult. And obviously, this depends on the bracket and the matchups. And then Iowa State, they just have become so untrustworthy. Their problem is they don't play tournament games in Hilton or Kansas City. So that's what's going to hurt them. But
yeah. They have outscored Texas Tech in the second half 20-6. So that is what has allowed Iowa State to jump on Texas Tech. Kentucky, meanwhile, now up double figures on Missouri. It would be Kentucky-esque to go on a run in this tournament, but the problem is, the problem for them is if they win today, look what's waiting for them tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be a tough pull.
Yeah, you think?
Look at Joe Lenardi.
That's Charlie Cream, the women's bracketologist.
Oh my God, Dr. Joe Lenardi.
How about that? Look at that collaboration.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How about it?
JT, do you know what a bracketologist is? Well, don't answer.
God.
Don't answer at the moment as play restarts here. Virginia up by 9 in their home whites, trying to salt this one to the finish. Hall stands on the midcourt logo, asks for a screen from Onienso and gets it, then reverses on a skip to Lewis. Lewis drives in from the left, lost it, got it back. Hooked it back to the perimeter for Thomas. Shot clock at 6, now 5. Thomas at the top of the arc. Steps in towards a double, backpedals, feeds left wing. Hall up for 3. A brick off the glass, rebound free, fallen onto by Copeland, and he's trying to call a timeout, and they award it to him. With 2:52 left. Yeah, I'm thinking like Will Wade that that 3 didn't hit the rim. Should have been a shot clock violation. Nonetheless, State able to keep possession. Timeout on the floor again. See, I bet that is something that has never once happened with the FA Cup, is to have a bracketologist behind the scenes in a doctor's robe figuring out, well,
because they don't do brackets for the FA Cup. They have to draw everything out of hats.
Yeah, so let's see if Ipswich is first 4 out or last 4 in.
No, I don't know, man. I tell you, Wolves are building one hell of a resume trying to get out of this. I tell you. Now, and Tottenham's resume, that screams bubble. I mean, they're going to have a nervy wait on Selection Sunday.
Tottenham screams of a team that's never made it out of the Sweet 16.
So basically, with the exception of one run, 2019, they think they're big, but they are kind of in shambles a lot of times. They aren't as good. I got it. Tottenham is Purdue.
You know,
silence to the crowd.
See, I was in my mind, as we have a review over something. I'm sure they're.
The referee wanted to see how good his hair looked.
I'm sure they're looking to see if that should have been called a shot clock violation, and the answer is yes, it should have been. So they'll probably give NC State their timeout back, and I think they have actually. See, I was fighting every fiber in my being from saying Tottenham is just like Tennessee. Oh boy.
I saw a clip today, and it was a Swedish politician comparing their economy to Tottenham Hotspur.
Oh God. Oh, you would not want to compare your economy to Tottenham.
That's not a good thing.
No, play restarts, but NC State, the inbound pass knifed out of bounds by DeRitter.
People think the American economy's in shambles. The Swedish economy must really be in shambles
Oh
if
my
they're comparing it
gosh.
to Tottenham.
Yeah,
Jesus.
God. I would have advised against that. State on the inbound. Copeland brings it up. 9-point game, under 3 to go. Copeland drifts to his left, top of the arc, feeds it McNeil. He'll trigger the 3 and knock it down. This game is not over. 6-point game, under 3 to go, and McNeil's been stroking in threes all day long. He's got 5 for the game. He's the leading NC State scorer. In fact, he leads all scorers with 19. Virginia with Thomas. Bounce pass top of the circle on Ienso. Back to Thomas. Now shovels it left for DeRitter. Back for Thomas. On the deck. Drive. Spins in on McNeil. Fadeaway jumper in the lane. Off the front of the rim. And it bounces in. Might be a bit too early for a put-away possession, but that was huge for Thomas to answer the 3 from McNeil with a basket of his own. 8-point game, 2 to go. Copeland engineers the NC State offense. Wow, and we get a foul away from the ball because Hall got tangled up with McNeil, who was trying to come off a screen. Hall is really pleading his case. I think he's pleading a case that it should have been a hook and hold on McNeil. I don't think he's going to win that battle. And remember, NC State is in the bonus where Virginia is not. So this will be free throws for McNeil, 1 and 1 on the 8th team foul against Virginia. McNeil, front end of the 1 and 1 is good. 2 minutes to go, 7-point game. McNeil with 20 points. His 8th 20-point game of the year. This is a guy that went off for...
Hello, Wes. Hello, Dennis.
Yes. This is a guy in McNeil that went off for an enormous 47-point game in December against Texas Southern. Hits the second free throw to give him 21. 6-point game, 2 minutes to go. If State could get one more stop here, they might have a sliver of daylight, but they have missed a lot of opportunities down the stretch here. DeRitter tosses up high for Ienso, who directs it left for Thomas. Defended by Holloman on the perimeter. Thomas spin cycles his way in on the ACC logo. Through traffic, leans in and draws a foul on Copeland, and Thomas will go to the line with 95 seconds to go. Once again, State needed to stop, and it doesn't look like they're going to get it. As a 73% foul shooter, and Malik Thomas will go to the free throw line for a Virginia team that has not been to the free throw line much today. They've only attempted 5.
Got to cut in real quick. Iowa just called a timeout with 7.2 seconds left. They're going to have the ball down 3.
Against Ohio State, as Thomas makes the first foul shot. One more for Malik Thomas out of Fontana, California. And he hits the second, and that might have been the put-away possession. Never know. 8-point game. Inbound to Lubin, given back for Copeland. Copeland, right-handed dribble, calls out a play with an outstretched left hand. Drifts to the top of the arc, gives for Lubin, shoveled off, left to the lane. Quick entry feed by Williams, goes to Copeland, cutting in, and he lays it in off the glass, plus a foul on Malik Thomas. Chance at a three-point play. That's exactly what they needed, as Quadir Copeland will go to the line on what's been a tough day for him. But what a huge sequence that is. So Copeland will go to the line. He's a 77% foul shooter. Could make this a 5-point game. 24 points yesterday for Copeland, just a third of that today with 8. But he swirls in the N1 free throw to keep hope alive for North Carolina State. 5-point margin. They put bodies in the backcourt. And struggling to get the ball in was Mallory, but he did for Thomas, who was cornered on a double. Now Hall whips it ahead. Mallory knifes into the lane, kicks it out to Ritter, who fakes a three, puts it on the deck, drives to the rim, and lays it in with the right. DeRitter may have been a bit too over-anxious to shoot that ball, but in the end it goes in, which is all that matters for Virginia as they up the lead to 7. No timeout was taken. I don't know why the clock was stopped. What was that with Iowa?
It took a ridiculously stupid shot. It hit off the top of the backboard, so it's Ohio State ball with 4.8 seconds. Looks like the Buckeyes are going to get a third crack at Michigan.
Here's Copeland galloping into the front court for NC State. We strike the final minute of regulation time. Virginia by 7, trying to hang on, and Copeland just standing around, gives McNeil up for 3. He got fouled! He got fouled! The shot misses, but he got fouled by DeRitter trying to close out around the screen. And the last possible thing Ryan Odom could have wanted there was that. McNeil, airborne for 3, got hip checked by DeRitter, and it will be 3 free throws for McNeil. That worst case scenario right there for UVA. McNeil to the line. He's 82% for the season, and his first one is no good as it clanks off the right side. Yeah, gotta make your fouls.
Iowa still has a chance. Ohio State missed the front end of a 1-and-1, but as soon as Iowa got the rebound, they got fouled. Smart coaching by Jake Dean.
Second free throw is good. And one more to come from McNeil, who missed his chance to get all 3. If he can knock down the second, he can make it a 5-point game. NC State is not yet over the limit on the other end, so they're going to have to foul multiple times. Third free throw is good. McNeil knocks down 2 of 3. 5-point game, 55 seconds left. Running the baseline to try to get the ball in. Mallory does. Thomas was able to wriggle free of a double and launched it forward for DeRitter, who's fouled by McNeil.
Iowa missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Ohio State fumbled the rebound. Iowa got another chance at a 3 that rimmed out. Ohio State wins.
Buckeyes and Wolverines in the quarterfinal tomorrow after Michigan received the always aimed for triple bye. Terrence Arsenault will go to the NC State bench. That was the 6th team foul against State, so they'll have to foul one more time. Hall gets it in for DeRitter. DeRitter tosses it out to the perimeter for Mallory, and now Mallory is fouled by McNeil. And that will get Chance Mallory to the free throw line. Will shoot 1 and 1. 77% for the season for a Virginia team that does not excel from the free throw line. They rank just 10th in the ACC. Of course, that's out of a gazillion teams. But they rank 10th in the ACC in free throw percentage at 72%. Big free throws from Mallory. Front end is good. As Virginia tries to get to the finish line here. 27-4 on the season. Not sure if many saw that kind of win total coming first year under Ryan Odom. Second free throw is good from Mallory. 7-point game, stayed on the inbound. They inbounded at 92 feet away from the basket, making Williams take a lot of time bringing it up. He gives to Copeland. Copeland trying to get around Hall. Instead, he tosses out to McNeil with an off-balance left wing three. It misses. Rebound. Popcorn's right back to him. Left wing three up again, and McNeil sticks it. He's made 6 threes. And a timeout taken by Will Wade in what is a 4-point game with 26 seconds to go. I would say McNeil is having one of his biggest games of the year, but as I said earlier, he had a game earlier this year where he scored 47. He's at 26 here this afternoon, and NC State making a lot of these shots far too late. They needed all this to go down about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Again, it is quarterfinal Thursday at the ACC Tournament. All the top 8 seeds are in the quarters. Top 4 seeds received a double bye to this round. All the high seeds won yesterday. This is the 2-7 matchup with UVA and NC State. Coming up next is the 3-6 with Miami and Louisville, who just played each other in South Florida last Saturday in the regular season finale. Later tonight, Duke and Florida State, followed by North Carolina and Clemson. All of these games here on the channel. And Virginia inbounding here with 3 timeouts if they need them. And they are in the bonus. NC State foul would send Virginia to the line for 1+1. Official is at the monitor trying to, well, at the scorer's table rather, trying to make sure the clock is right. Clock in the arena reads at 27.3. Clock that we've got is reading at 26.8. One of those is incorrect.
Somebody's lying.
There's a half second somewhere in space that needs to be rectified. They haven't rectified it, but yet they've given the ball to Chance Mallory to inbound. He runs the baseline right. Hands it off. Whoa, boy, State nearly got a steal, and the ball's out of bounds. Oh, my goodness. Tillis lost it, and they're giving it to State.
Wow.
I can confirm that the clock started at 27.3. It jumped as they threw the ball into play on TV graphics.
Wow.
JT, you buckle up your seatbelt. You're about to experience a potential March crazy moment right here, maybe.
They doubled Tillis, and State able to get a turnover. Now can they get a basket? 23.3 left. Copeland will inbound it from underneath. This game has taken forever to finish, and we might be able to get a flurry. Inbounded underneath. Williams backpedals it onto Lubin. Layup blocked by Onienso. Recovered left corner. Floater thrown up. Abel missed everything. Rebound to Ritter, and he is fouled. Onienso again coming through on the defensive end with his 8th block of the game. He is a machine defensively, and he rejects Lubin. And Virginia will get free throws at the other end. Now it will be 1-1. But Onienso, the ACC leading shot blocker, has rejected 8 today. 15 seconds left. It's DeRitter at the line, 1-1, 72% for the season. And he misses, but the rebound is free and taken by Virginia's Malik Thomas, but then he got tied up, and possession arrow keeps the ball with Virginia. I said it a few moments ago that NC State was not only getting outplayed, but every bounce was going against them, and that bounce goes against them as well, as Thomas had the rebound off back iron come right to him, and then they get a tie-up, but the arrow's not in their favor. Virginia will inbound from underneath. Hall cannot run the baseline. And as I said, Virginia had 3 timeouts at their disposal. He'll smartly take one here. This game's not going to end, and it's going to be past 2:30 by the time this game ends. Going to start Miami and Louisville at 3:15. Well, that's a tough sequence, again, for NC State to get that turnover at the other end but not get a basket out of it. Ani Enso coming to Virginia's rescue on the defensive end, and then to get a miss at the opposite end from DeRitter but not get the rebound. And as I've said for what feels like the last 5 minutes of game time, they've had a lot of opportunities. This is turning into the quintessential bubble team the last week or so. All these opportunities, but not taking any of them. State certainly a team that a lot of people feel is just inside the tournament bubble, but you get some bid stealers, and we know there's going to be one in the MAC now. Perhaps they could fall into Dayton in the first 4, or if we get enough bid stealers, maybe fall out completely. 13.6 on the clock. They're going to have Tillis doing the inbounding this time, and he gets it into Hall, looping it over off the top of the arc, and backpedaling and racing to Hall to foul him is Abel, who commits the foul with 12.5 on the clock. And now Hall will go to the line. He's 79% for the season. The BYU transfer will try to put this game out of reach. Has not taken a free throw today. As mentioned, Virginia has not taken many free throws, period. They've only taken 9 from the line, compared to NC State's 24. Had 23 combined three-pointers in this game. 11 from State, 12 from Virginia. Here's Hall making the front end of the 1-and-1 and pushing the lead to 5. And now NC State looks like their ACC tournament will come to a close after a win yesterday over Pittsburgh, which they desperately needed to feel absolutely padlock safe. They needed a win today. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. Hall misses. Rebound popcorned around. Anienso couldn't claim it. Williams did, but they're running out of time. Ahead for Copeland. Steps into a right arc 3. No. Rebound down to Virginia's Malik Thomas, and he's fouled with 2 2/10 seconds left. And Virginia is going to hang on and win this game. It'll be their 28th win of the year to advance into tomorrow night's semifinal. And they will get a big rest advantage because, the number 2 seed should get the biggest rest advantage, not the number 1 seed. Number 2 seed should get the rest advantage, don't you know?
Here we go.
As they will not play again for about another 28 and a half hours until they'll play tomorrow night. It is a preaching to the choir there, bud. Here's Thomas at the line. His first one is good. NC State might have some Selection Sunday sweat. You ask me, I think they're safe without a ton of bid stealers, but you never know what this committee is thinking and what they will do. Second free throw is good to make it a 7-point game. Abel's half-court shot is no good at the buzzer, and Virginia has won. To advance to tomorrow's semifinals, they'll play either Miami or Louisville, and that game is coming up here in a matter of moments, about 20 minutes or so, as the Cavaliers see off the Wolfpack here in Charlotte, 81-74. For Seth, for JT, Matthew signing off here. We will be back on in just a few moments as we get ready for the Cards and the Canes in our second quarterfinal. But here it's Virginia knocking off NC State by 7. See you in a few minutes.